Okay, let me paint a picture for you. Imagine two things happening at the exact same time. On a ship way out in the middle of the ocean, a crew's sitting down for their Sunday lunch. It's the absolute highlight of their week. At that same moment, in an office maybe 1,000 miles away, someone's just staring at their computer screen trying to write a really, really difficult email. Now these two worlds, they're completely dependent on each other, but they might as well be on different planets.
And this quote, man, it just nails it. Both believe the other side has it easier. Both are wrong. This gets right to the heart of the problem, doesn't it? It's this massive misunderstanding between the ship and the shore. It's not a gap you can measure in miles, it's a gap in perspective. And, as we're about to see, that gap has some pretty serious consequences.
So, to really get what's going on here, we have to start at sea. You see, for a seafarer, time works differently. You're not counting down the months or the weeks, no. You're using a totally different clock, the Biryani Calendar.
Now, the Sunday biryani, it's so much more than just a meal. It's a unit of time. It's, as it says here, survival math. Think about it. In this endless world of steel and water, alarms and routines, this one tradition gives you a rhythm. It's predictable. It's like a psychological lighthouse that just keeps blinking, telling you you're 1 week closer to home.
Let's make it real. Say you've got a 4-month contract. You're not thinking about it as 120 days. That's just too big. No, you think of it as 17 biryanis, 17 Sundays, and each week you get to tick one more off the list. It makes this huge, overwhelming stretch of time feel manageable. It turns an abstract date on a calendar into something you can actually feel.
And then it happens. An email lands. The message looks so simple, so harmless. Just 2 more weeks. But that one little word, just, well, it hits like a tidal wave. Suddenly, 2 more biryanis just got added to the countdown.
And here it is. This is the disconnect. For the person in the office sending that email, it's a small change, a logistical hiccup. But for the crew member reading it, that psychological lighthouse we talked about, it just flickered out. The rhythm is shattered. The calendar, in their head, just tore right down the middle. And morale? It quietly tears right along with it. Okay, but let's flip the script for a second. What about the person who had to write that impossible email? It's so easy to imagine them as some faceless, uncaring suit in an office, right? But the reality, well, it's a whole lot more complicated. Let's step into their world for a minute.
That just 2 more weeks email doesn't just appear out of thin air. It's almost always the end result of a total domino effect. A flight gets canceled. A visa gets rejected at the last possible second. The ship's next port of call suddenly changes. Or, the immigration office in some port is closed for a national holiday that nobody on board even knew existed. These aren't just excuses. They're real, complex, interlocking problems.
And here's the fundamental difference in thinking. The shore team isn't counting biryanis. They're counting consequences. They're juggling crew well-being against massive commercial risks or even the safety of the entire vessel. There are no easy answers here, just a series of less bad options.
And this is the human part that gets totally lost in translation. That formal, frustrating email that starts with "unfortunately," it's often typed by somebody under incredible pressure, who knows exactly how badly this news is going to land. It's a decision that carries its own weight, its own invisible stress.
So, all of this leads us to the core problem. What we have here is a mutual myth. Both the crew at sea and the team ashore are working with a flawed, incomplete picture of what the other person's reality is actually like.
Let's break this down. The folks at sea, they tend to believe the office has total control, that they could just fix this if they really wanted to. And the office, they tend to believe the crew has this endless well of resilience, that they can just absorb 2 more weeks. The type of exhaustion is different. It's physical and emotional at sea. It's systemic and cumulative ashore. But the end result is the exact same, a slow, grinding burnout on both sides. And you know what allows these myths to fester and grow? It's simple: silence. When we don't share the full story, people fill in the blanks with their own assumptions. And those assumptions are like a slow-acting acid, just quietly eating away at trust. So what is the real problem here? It isn't about better logistics or fancier software. It's a fundamental gap in what we choose to pay attention to and what we choose to talk about. I mean, just look at this. As an industry, we are brilliant at measuring things you can put in a spreadsheet. Fuel consumption, CO2 emissions, rest hour compliance, we've got that down. But we have no metric for psychological steadiness. We just don't measure the human experience. And yet, that's the very thing that dictates safety and performance day in and day out.
And there it is. That's the whole shebang right there. We are absolutely exceptional at managing complex systems, but we are shockingly inconsistent when it comes to managing simple human conversations. We've optimized everything for efficiency, but we've forgotten to build a system for dialogue.
So what's the fix? Well, it's not another app. It's not another wellness webinar. The solution, it turns out, is incredibly powerful, but also almost boringly simple. It's just about having a dialogue without all the drama. So what does that actually look like? Well, it's 3 pretty practical steps. First, open up the channels for regular conversation, not just when things go wrong. Second, create transparent dashboards so everyone is looking at the same information. And third, and this might be the most important one, use honest language. Don't just tell people what is happening, explain why it's happening. And why does this work so well? Because when people understand the why, they can handle the what a whole lot better. Clarity is the perfect antidote to resentment. And it's that resentment, the kind that builds when you feel unheard and out of the loop, that really poisons a safety culture. When you get that clarity and dialogue right, the entire dynamic just shifts. A contract extension stops being a top-down order that creates a silent grievance. Instead, it becomes a shared problem that both the ship and the shore are working on together. And that right there is a total game changer. So I'll just leave you with this final thought. We spend so much time, so much money, so much energy trying to optimize our operations. But what if the biggest, most important gap we need to close, the one that really moves the needle on safety and morale, isn't operational at all? What if it's just conversational?